Shalom, giving all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash, and double honors to the elder apostles, elder bishops, and brothers of Mary Krippenstone. Salutations to the whole feelak. This is your brother Rai Banyamia, and here to teach you a lesson. Lord willing to be edified unto the elect. You know, when I got up earlier today from taking a nap, the Spirit told me to do a lesson on favor. So I figure I'll call this lesson Pray for Favor. Alright, so when I look up that word favor, it says attractiveness, beauty, charm, right? Approval, praise, applause, goodwill, inclination, partiality, support, to honor, to revere, to worship, meaning goodwill, kind regard, an act of kindness done, it's like bias, right? Then you go further down, it says to regard with favor, indulge, treat with partiality, to resemble, to look somewhat like. So that, right, to have approval, right? Favor, to have approval, to approve, right? And you know, when I think about favor, extreme favor that the Lord had on a particular individual, I looked to Joseph when he was in Egypt after he sold his after he was sold into slavery by his brothers, and after he was betrayed. He was scriptures talk about how he was humble, and even when he was in Egypt, the Most High raised him up, the Most High exalted him. But Joseph was humble enough that he didn't exalt himself, you know what I'm saying? And the Most High had favor with him. So I'm gonna read Genesis chapter 39, first verse on down to probably verse 5. Alright, and I'll close it out. It says, and Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. Right, and the Ishmaelites got him from his brother. It says, and the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master, the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. Right, so whenever he put his hand to it, it turned into gold. It worked, you know what I mean? Verse 4, and it says, and Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. Now when you go into that word grace, it goes back to favor. Grace, favor, charm, elegance, favor, acceptance, right, or approval. Gracious, subjective, kindness, favor, beauty, favor, gracious, pleasant, precious, well favored. So Joseph was favored by the master, the Egyptian, and he was also favored by the Lord. There's a scripture that says, if the Lord be for you, who can be against you? And if the Lord be against you, who can be for you? So the Lord was with Joseph. He showed Joseph favor, and so the master, the Egyptian, showed Joseph favor as well. So the theme of this lesson is to, to pray for that favor. Remember, it said that Joseph, he was humble. He didn't exalt himself, right? Even though the Most High, raised him up, and he was forgiven unto his brothers. He loved his brothers, right? In other words, he was his brother's, keeper, and the Most High, loved that about him. So the Most High protected him during his walk, right? So as for all of us, we need to be humble and stuff the same way, walking in the light, so that the Most High can have favor for us. So whatever it is, you're believing in, pray for favor. It could be, you're trying to get a place, a residence for yourself, right? And you're believing that, you get it. Pray and ask the Lord for favor. You want a particular job, promotion, while we are still here. Pray and ask the Lord for favor. Or even, some trouble come your way, right? And it look like, you ain't did anything, but the trouble came your way anyway. And it looked like there's no way out. Pray for favor. Scripture said that the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. So the Most High could turn any situation for our favor. Certain things in life look, they look terrible. A lot of brothers could tell their stories. They say, man, I was going through A, B, C, X, Y, Z. It didn't look good. It looked dire. And then the Lord pulled, he pulled something out of the hat for me. And it worked out. Where they themselves couldn't get themselves out of a particular situation, wherever they may be in. Right? But the Most High, showed favor unto them. Favor with your promotion, favor with being in an accident and they walked out unscathed. You understand? But something is required. You need to be humble, seek the Lord while he is near. Alright? Humility, praying, fasting, relying on the Lord, having a relationship with Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, so that he could grant favor unto you. And we're gonna need a lot of favor in these last days coming, because of the persecution, right? They are wrongfully accusing us of different acts, right? The Most High is gonna have to show favor upon a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? So we read verse 5. It says, and it came to pass from the time that he had made him overseer in his house over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake, and the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. You understand? So it said, it didn't say it just blessed the Egyptian, because they worship him. As a result of the Most High blessing, Joseph, the Egyptian house, Potiphar's house, benefited from it. You understand? And without that key, that ingredient, which was Joseph at the time, Potiphar's house could not be successful. And also the Most High used Joseph to speak to the dream, to reveal the dream that the Pharaoh had. You understand? So you see how it worked? The Lord blessed Joseph, gave grace unto Joseph, and in turn it was able to bless others. And at the same time, there was at some point there was a famine in the land, in Egypt, where the Egyptian Pharaoh, he amassed a lot of property because people had no money to buy bread. They had to offer up their services there, whether it be work them to be servants and stuff themselves, their land, maybe cattle, So the Pharaoh, he gained a lot. And because of the grace or the favor that the Most High had upon Joseph, in the end, he was able to bless his brothers, with bread, and water and whatever, things that they traded for. And he was able to unite with his father, right? He was able to reunite with his father and the rest of his siblings. You understand? So pray for favor, man, and read this story about Joseph where the Most High had favor upon a very encouraging lesson on grace, on favor, and humility. You know what I mean? But like I said, something is required. You know what I mean? We need to serve the Lord. We need to serve Yahweh Hashem Yahushai in spirit and in truth, so that He can have favor upon you. So, Lord willing, this quick lesson was edifying, right? Hope you received it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai.